Sumire wrote and published a book revealing her revenge experience and Karen's bullying behavior. The first page of the book features a before and after photo of Sumire's plastic surgery. The second page directly displays a high-definition photo of Karen during middle school and her detailed personal information. Sumire chronologically records each act of bullying and humiliation by Karen, as well as each step of her own revenge. All characters and locations involved in the book are real names accompanied by numerous high-definition images, providing readers with an immersive revenge experience. Once published, the book quickly sparked a heated response across the internet. Many readers expressed that the plot was full of twists and dramatic moments. For those familiar with Sumire, they felt genuine sympathy and concern for her journey. As for the villainous character in the book, Latsuki, she could only rage in helpless fury. Sumire also specially sent a copy to Kippei, who was hospitalized in the countryside. When Kippei saw the cover with his ex-wife's name, he was momentarily confused. As he flipped through the pages, he was stunned. It turned out that the Sumire he had been thinking about was actually his ex-wife, who had undergone plastic surgery and deliberately approached him with revenge in mind. This ironic truth struck Kippei hard, causing him to break down mentally in an instant. The most embarrassed person was the villainous heroine, Karen. Soon, a kind-hearted netizen found Karen, who was a married woman involved in a scandal with Latsuki. Karen's infidelity and bullying behaviors caused a sensation among Japanese netizens, with continuous condemnations. Numerous streamers gathered outside her new apartment to livestream, attempting to capitalize on the notoriety of this notorious villainess. When Karen appeared, she was chased relentlessly by streamers until her heels were worn out, and she barely managed to escape their pursuit. She intended to return to her hometown to lay low, but then received a call from her father who advised her not to come back. Her relatives and friends in her hometown had already seen the book. Her family had long lost face due to her infidelity, and now with this bullying scandal, they were unable to hold their heads high in the village. Her father announced that he had decided to cut ties with her. Stating that Karen would bear all consequences herself from now on. Karen planned to stay in a 5-star hotel to avoid the storm, but when she swiped her card, she found that the family card under Kippei's name had already been frozen. At that moment, she remembered she had already filed for divorce. From then on, she could no longer access any of Kippei's assets. She was filled with regret. However, Karen did not know that it was actually Sumire who had anonymously emailed Kippei's parents, prompting them to freeze the family card. Sumire's goal was to completely abandon Karen and push her into financial hardship. However, Karen immediately thought of seeking refuge with a client she had previously served. But those people were nothing more than lecherous individuals who cheated on their wives behind their backs. Now, Karen was already notorious, regarded as a villainess who bullied through infidelity, and no man would foolishly risk exposure by getting involved with her. In the end, Karen decided to return to Kippei's apartment, planning to sell her designer bags for cash. However, the streamers had already been waiting at the apartment door for Karen's arrival. After several twists and turns, Karen managed to sneak into the apartment, gathering all her valuable items to sell. Karen worked tirelessly all day, ultimately earning only 400,000 yen. Just as she was complaining about her meager income, she suddenly received a call from an unknown number. The caller claimed to be a lawyer appointed by Kippei's parents. Previously, Kippei's parents had filed a lawsuit against Karen, but she had never appeared in court to respond. Eventually, the court issued a default judgment, and Karen lost. She was required to pay Kippei's parents 2 million yen in damages immediately. Thus, the 400,000 yen she had just earned was quickly used for compensation. She had no choice but to use her remaining savings and checked into an internet cafe hotel. Accustomed to a comfortable life, Karen found it extremely hard to endure this environment. To quickly earn enough money to leave, she had to register a new account and restart working as a part-time girlfriend. Her first client appeared quite generous, and Karen tried to develop him into a long-term customer. However, the man only paid her 20,000 yen as a commission and clearly stated he would not continue the relationship. Karen's service attitude was poor, lacking emotional value, and most unacceptable to the client was that Karen's appearance was severely different from her photos.
今と全然違うじゃん。
Unwilling to accept this, Karen walked to the mirror only to be shocked by her reflection. The exhaustion from days of stress had left her little time to maintain her appearance. Now her face looked haggard with noticeable acne scars, and her hair had become sparse. She broke down and picked up her phone, intending to book a cosmetic procedure, but suddenly saw that Sumire was live streaming. She hesitated for a moment before clicking into Sumire's stream. Because Sumire was concerned that her book's publication might cause trouble for some unrelated people, such as the flower shop where she had worked part-time, Sumire decided to focus public attention on herself and Karen through a live broadcast. Once the stream started, Sumire clearly stated she was willing to answer all questions about herself, but also urged everyone not to involve unrelated individuals. Viewers reacted enthusiastically. Judging by the comments, public opinion was almost overwhelmingly supportive of Sumire's stance. Meanwhile, Karen could no longer bear to watch and quickly registered a new account under the name AAA, quietly entered the comments section and pretended to be Karen's friend. She wrote that Karen has been a kind and adorable girl since childhood, never bullying anyone, and Sumire, due to her ugly appearance and introverted personality, has long suffered from paranoid delusions. The bullying incidents described in the book are actually all fabricated by her. Once AAA's comment was posted, netizens in the comments section didn't know who to believe. Karen thought she had successfully distracted the public's attention. However, Sumire calmly opened a box filled with concrete evidence of Karen's bullying actions. She raised her middle school uniform covered in graffiti written by Karen. In the face of solid evidence, netizens gradually turned to support Sumire. Sumire noticed the details of this AAA account. In normal social interactions, strangers usually address each other by surname, but this account consistently used her first name directly. Sumire suspected that the account's user was Karen, and netizens immediately launched verbal attacks on Karen in the comments. Sumire stared at the camera and extended an invitation for a video call with Karen. She provocatively asked, "Aren't you feeling resentful facing the accusations from netizens, Karen? Or have you already accepted the fact that you bullied and there's nothing left to argue?" Many netizens urged Karen to respond and connect with Sumire in the comments. When Karen failed to respond for a long time, Sumire once again revealed key information. She disclosed that during high school, Karen had locked her in the equipment room and released a wasp to sting her. Sumire still keeps the diagnosis report from the sting. Hearing this, Karen hurriedly defended herself, but once the comment was posted, it completely exposed her identity. Netizens confirmed that the account under the name AAA was indeed Karen herself. Seeing this, Sumire directly invited Karen for an offline meeting to put an end to the matter once and for all. Karen initially wanted to refuse, but a malicious thought suddenly flashed through her mind. Thus, Karen proposed that only the two of them participate, and Sumire calmly agreed. Karen suddenly adopted a proactive attitude in accepting the meeting, making Sumire realize she must have a hidden scheme. But in order to successfully take revenge, Sumire would not back down. Mirai was worried that Sumire might be in danger and advised her to stop in time, but Sumire insisted she must win at all costs. Meanwhile, Karen had already contacted a human trafficker and handed over a photo of Sumire to him. This concludes episode 11. Next week, we will have the grand finale. Please subscribe our channel and help us continue creating. Thank you.